Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Sofar Sounds Brighton! How are you today? You right? Good. I said we were right. Didn't get a response and still said good. That was great. So how are we? Are we all right? We having a good evening? Yeah, good, brilliant. Wonderful, guys. Who has never been to Sofar Sounds Brighton before? Right, okay, so lots of veterans in the room then, I take it. Who's been to more than 5 Sofar Sounds before? Okay, it's about the same amount as newbies, really, so it's quite a mix in the middle. Okay, great. Well, look, for those newbies that were dotted around the room, thanks so much for coming and giving us a go. For those who have been before, obviously it wasn't too terrible. You're back again, so that's really, really good to see. Could we just kind of say hello to each other, give each other either a quick handshake or a quick hello or an awkward wave? I know you hate this bit. You all hate this bit. And I keep doing it. And I know that you all hate it. And I know that it makes me want to do it more. So that's just an awkward, yeah, that's it. Right. Good, because the thing is, by the end of the night, we're all going to be the best of friends, I assure you. Or the worst of enemies, if I carry on like this. So guys, we have an amazing lineup for you at Nowhere Cafe. So we're really pleased. Nowhere Man Cafe, sorry. So we're really pleased to be here this evening, and we really thank you for coming on. For those of you who don't know, Sofar Sound's background is, well, it's a pretty cool one. It started in a flat in 2009. And in the flat there were just about maybe 8-9 people just listening to music, and the idea really was very much about going to a gig and just not having someone on their phone the whole time or just talking the whole time, and just everyone just enjoying the music, staying to the end and listen to all the different artists. And I think what we like to feel is special about what we do is that it's not just about staying, listening, loving all the music, but it's also about seeing something maybe different that you might not have just seen before, and hopefully something that you think, oh, I'm not sure if I like this, and then at the end end up loving something you didn't think you would. So that's really what it's all about. Since that gig in 2009, it's completely exploded, and you're probably already aware, it's now in 400 cities all over the world. And this here is the Brighton one, so thanks so much for joining us. Guys, just a bit of background in terms of the room. Yes, there is an escape room downstairs, so don't get lost in that. But on the way there is the toilet. It's pretty easy to find. I found it, so I'm sure it's fine. You'll make it. And then also, yeah, I know. You'd be surprised. So that's it. So pretty much toilet, and of course we just generally kind of keep the phones fairly discreet at these gigs as well. The show is also going to be filmed as well by the cameraman at the back there. So that's the main reason why someone likes people waving their phones all the time. So, without further ado, I will introduce our very first act of the evening. Everyone give your love to Spliff! Yes, the man himself. So, to give you a bit of background information, this gentleman here is basically a legend of the Brighton spoken word scene. We are absolutely delighted to have him here this evening with us. He has done so many different things, including highlights like playing Secret Garden Party, Glastonbury, and also, I don't know if any of you have been to the MC versus Poets evening? Yeah, you've heard that. That's a pretty epic evening, where basically, I'm sure he'll tell you a bit about it himself later, but basically a load of poets, a load of MCs, kind of sort of have a rap battle, but then don't, but then kind of like do loads of rap, and it's a massive event, and they did it at Concord's about 16 years now? It's a really long time.
All in 16 years.
Yeah, it's a really long time. So he's very much the veteran of the spoken word scene, and he's going to give you a really good intro into what he does tonight. So do give him all your love, Spliff Richard!
You're very kind. Lovely intro, thank you, man. Appreciate that. It's been a long time bucket listing of mine to play a gig over an escape room, so I'm happy to it's a good one here. And yeah, the intro about Sofar as well. Like there's a million and one nights out there. It's difficult to like make your own impression on a night, so it's nice that Sofar managed to do that and got their own thing going, which is why we're here. Yeah, thanks to everyone. I used to like beginning my gigs by coming up on a platform from underneath the floor, but I don't do that anymore. It's just a stage I was going through. Excuse me. Right, first actual legitimate thing I'm going to say is this one's called Still Hungry. It's about when you've been doing something or engaged in something or on a certain path for a while, and then you just once in a while check back in and it's like, yeah, is this still me? Is this still what I'm about? A bit like when couples like renew their vows, that kind of deal. The first time I decided what I wanted to do with my life was rhyme. I just quit college for the second time. My CV was smelling kind of suspect, not much on it to improve my prospects of permeating a profession. With a succession of entry-level unskilled jobs under my belt, you could see why I felt the need to explore. And the more I began to look at rhyming, the more it began to appeal to me and start to feel as a little bit real to me. Well, college had been tough to let go. But I tried to make it easy to accept though, but trying to have faith that sometimes one thing must make space to be replaced by the next. And that much is true of jobs, relationships, even life or death. So to myself I said, I would work bar jobs for my daily bread, but see that my head and my heart were fed by my art. I guess you could say that was the start. And back then I was young, hyper and hungry, but then something funny started going down. My lyrical libido started slowing down, and far too gradually and casually for me to realise some of the hunger began to fade from my eyes. I was starting to get well fed on the dead list of ingredients: apathy, complacency and convenience. My job had given me just a little extra pay and was now taking up a little extra of my day, and though I never meant it to be, it come to represent to me a little bit too much of my identity, but like anything in life, it was never given, only lent to me. So eventually, 6 years down the line, when I thought everything was going fine, my cosy existence was suddenly deprived of me when the motherfuckers P45'd me and left me just once more, just another chump with a CV knocking on doors. So now after over 10 years in the same trade, I was back to square one, minimum wage, and I can't figure out if that much time for that little change shows a lot of humility or just a lot of stupidity. But when the road gets rough, I try to flow fluidly, stay tranquilo, approach obstacles according to Aikido, with incoming blows not blocked but deflected, redirected to work for you instead of against. In struggle there is strength that you cannot find, in hunger there's a drive that you cannot find inside when you are content, excuse me. And now once again, I can sense it stirring and rising, and it feels so energizing, coming up on me like deja vu, like an old friend I'm recognising, hey man, I remember you. But now there's no time to chat because we got work to do, and I spent more than a few years bending people's ears, trying to get them to pick their head up and not get fed up, because better times are within reach, and the least I can do is try to practice what I preach, because if I ever want to spit this shit with conviction, then Lord knows it's always got to be non-fiction. So now everything I am, I invest in this, and I ain't gonna rest in this or take second best in this. What do you mean you only spit your rhymes? I throw my nut like the girl from The Exorcist, face grinning, head spinning, flinging my flows in the projectile style and silencing doubters like an injunction. Mics get heat up, eardrums beat up, and it can be hard to keep up with erectile dysfunction, with punchlines that bounce around your head long after I'm gone like no one for the dick joke? You know that, mature. Punchlines that bounce around your head long after I'm gone like flashbacks. This next one's even worse. The shit I drop is so heavy I give myself a splashback. Oh, not the dick joke, but the poo joke's fine. And I'll never stop venting and shouting these opinions I'm touting when my performances end up critically acclaimed and stadium filling on the park after dark to no one but pigeons. And whether I ever make a living from this, one thing I can promise, I'm already living for it. It's my pleasure and my pride, and it fits me better than anything I've ever tried. Any of my endeavours in education or employment have never come near it. So I'm done stalling. This has always been my calling, just took me a little while to hear it. So now there's no more lazy afternoons, pad sat, idle, pen twiddling. Now I'm back to frantic late night, red-eyed scribbling, dribbling my mind into any piece of paper I can find. I'm back to being amazed out in this technological space age. I can still get so excited by a pen and a page. And I'm back to taking nights off work I can't afford, spending even more to board the train and the tube, a little extra for food just so I can get 3 minutes of open mic at a spoken night. I'm hoping might provoke the right response in the crowd that I can be allowed to earn me a return journey and come back for a longer set, and from that get another one. And you get the idea. Build my rep up piece by piece like it came from IKEA. I put a lot of time, love and effort into its construction. I learn on the job because there ain't no instruction, and to hold it all together I don't need no Allen key. I just get more stoned than Sly's whole family, and now I can feel my appetite grabbing me. Thank you, roaring like thunder. And some would say that this type of hunger is flawed, because when you feed it, it only gets more. But to my flow I am committed. Ain't gonna pick it up and put it down when it suits me, like the Nation of Islam did to Ali. I will spit this verse for better or for worse till they come pick me up in a hearse. Only then will I rest. That's why dumb squedo spredo is etched into my chest. It means while I breathe, I hope. And while I hope, I'll express and confess it till I'm sore in the throat. When I'm just trying to keep my head above water, my breath keeps me afloat. I breathe a lot of smoke and I spit a lot of fire. Don't care if they kill my pension, because it's not my intention to ever retire. While I have lungs, I'll have fun, because verbally and herbally is how I get higher. And I have a hunger that never gets tired. Some of the sharper ones amongst you may have gleaned from that first rhyme that my style is quite fast and intense, and I don't know, this is slightly over a spot than I would normally play. So if anybody wants to run to the bar at half time and put ice cubes in the air or something, it does get a bit, your ears and your brain get a bit tired. Speaking of tired, I'm not 100% with it, because last night I mixed together a bunch of laxatives and nitrous oxide. Just for shits and giggles. That's the other thing. The only thing I'm doing a longer spot is there's way more gaps for horrible dad jokes in between. Playing this guy for half an hour. So another one, speaking of dad jokes, there was a period a few years ago when it felt like everybody I knew was reproducing. And I didn't go down that path. Parents to me are like cage fighters, like I respect the crap out of it, but I don't want to be you. So that's cool. But as everyone knows, those who can do and those who can't be asked to write rhymes about it. This is like my sentiments of what I would express if I recreated myself in, you know the drill. It's called Cassia. This next one is for all those yet to come. For all the unborn daughters and sons yet to feel the sun, breathe the air, see the skies, for all potential not yet realised. For every good thought not yet manifested, and though I've not yet invested in the future by raising a seed, I still share the basic human need to leave something behind, to pass something on. To those who carry the torch long after I'm gone, to give a legacy to those ahead of me, and since I don't think it's going to be financial, if I die out of debt, that'd be substantial. Seem to me my words are the best I've got to give. So later on when I'm gone, at least a part of me can live. So think of this as a will of sorts, or the parts of my possessions, just a few of my thoughts. But pointing the finger is an easy game to play. But take care, because it's a trap that can swallow, because when comparisons lead you, judgment soon follows. And none of us are fit to cast that stone. Each of us got plenty of shit of our own, much more worthy of our labours than passing comment on our neighbours. His car looks nicer, her ass looks leaner. On their side of the fence, I'm sure the grass looks greener. Although I'm often thought it, anybody's life totally sorted. That's a myth we're consuming, because frailties and fuck-ups are what make us human. It's not what we say or betray that makes us, but what we keep secret. Just as it's not our strengths that shape us, but how we deal with weakness. And ain't nobody got nothing to hide, and everybody's got a cross to bear. Ain't nobody got nothing to learn, everybody's got some wisdom to share, and everybody's destroyed something, and each one of us is a creator, and everybody's been a victim, and we're all a perpetrator. People so full of disguises, people so full of surprises. Sometimes people really resemble rebels, and sometimes saints go looking like sinners, and sometimes angels go acting like devils. And the playing field we're on is anything but level, and only a fool would claim it's any other way. But who you are isn't spelt out in those cards that you're dealt out, but how you choose to play. And let me give you a tip, because the rules can be confusing. If you find yourself keeping track of any score but yours, I'm afraid that means you're losing. And once in a while your pride will have to take a bruising. Sometimes that's the only way to learn, but don't let it burn. Just try to grow from it and show from it that what you know from it won't be wasted. Then reject regret and let respect replace it. Because just because we're human doesn't mean we're in a race, so don't forget to pace it. You're much better off walking than running. The change Sam Cooke talked about was a long time coming. And don't forget what makes you different to everyone else, and don't forget what makes us all the same. And don't forget that even in your darkest hour of pain, to succumb to hate is to let life defeat you. Anger is a cancer that can eat you unless you burn it, como and porro. Otherwise your yesterday will cheat you out of your tomorrow, and it won't let you grow. A skill really worth hanging on to is the skill of letting go. And it won't just be to others your forgiveness you must lend. Sometimes you'll be the one with whom you need to make amends. And the attitude to friends be as the media's attitude to terrorist extremists. And when I say that, I mean this. Look out, stay vigilant in case you see one. Anyone could be one, you could be surrounded. Open up your eyes, heart and mind, and you'll be astounded. What people will give just to give, and when you do it too, that's when you really start to live. That's when you start to make a difference you can feel. And always keep one foot in the world that's real, and one foot in the world of dreams and ideals for both dearly need pursuing. But fall headlong into either one, and it will be your undoing, it will be your ungluing, because like most things, balance is the key. Like if you watch the news and the views that you see leave you so stressed and depressed and thinking we can't make it anymore, I can't take it anymore, then go meet someone you never met before and make a positive impression. Send a smile in the direction and even up the score, because you can't go through life with your eyes on the floor, because the duty is yours to inspire and to let others inspire you, and to never ever let anybody tell you what to aspire to, regardless of their apparent position, because happiness and success could not count for less if they don't come according to your definition. And it's nice to reminisce, and it's nice to make plans, but the past, present and future, only one is in your hands. So don't get too lost and dismayed. If from time to time you feel a little lost and afraid, because if you can keep it, I'll let you into a secret. We're all lost, it's just some of us know it. And we're all afraid, it's just some of us go to great lengths not to show it. And from presidents to poets, we all wear a mask. So all I ask is once in a while that may make you nervous, take it off and let somebody see beneath the surface. Because the world we're in will thicken your skin, but beware, let it get too thick and it will block out the air and it will block out the light. And sometimes to stay peaceful, you've got to learn how to fight. And sometimes wrong and right will be black and white, but more often than not, you'll spend your day making your way through the various shades of grey that exist in between the extremes. Because very few things are exactly what they seem, and very few people say exactly what they mean. And much more of the world can be seen, and much more of the world can be heard if you learn the languages that exist between words. And speaking of words, it's like time I took a breather. And anyway, I'm a believer that advice is as much for the giver as the receiver. It's all irrelevant, and still we love to give it. Being told something means nothing until you actually live it. And the lessons of life take a lifetime to learn, but respect must be earned daily like wages. And the only certainty is time will continue to turn daily like pages. But this book is unique, it's being written as we speak, and the amount of internet leaks or sneak peeks to the back can reveal the ending. So don't go spending more time studying its pages than you order, because you're not just a reader, young soul. First and foremost, you're the author. Cheers, guys. ninja reflex, that's good. I was terrified looking around the stage for a place where it wouldn't be a total car crash if I kicked my water over, but there's not many places around. How are we doing for time, Dave? I feel like I've just lost track of.
It's only been 15 minutes.
That's 45 minutes.
Cool. More dad jokes for you poor fuckers. I'll hold off for now. Oh, here's one for you. That Slide of Family Stone reference in the other rhyme reminded me, the other day a friend of mine who also likes to fuck with words sent me a text that just said, singers and illnesses. So then that began, and then here's a couple of recent ones. Again. Boys to meningitis, cataract, massive heart attack, water's head, 4 tetanus, Sign the Family Gallstone. I've got one between them, Eminem Facina and the Hunchback Street Boys. Glad we had this little chat, as I'm sure you are. This one's a bit lighter and a bit shorter. I'm not going to say that's what he said. It's called Ubuntu, which is something you may have encountered as a Southern African word that means the spirit of like community and looking out for your neighbour. I have about 3 themes I write about. I just like spin them differently in every one. So, there's no literal translation of it available in English, but a kind of widely agreed upon translation I think came from Desmond Tutu, who said, "I am because we are," which is a lovely sentiment, which is the kind of jumping off point for this rhyme. In South Africa, you'll find, South Africa even, some of you may have heard of it, you'll find security defined as walls 10 feet tall with razor wire on top and armed guards on call. Now over here, we don't have the same kind of dangers to face, but still all the need to feel safe. But sometimes it's not till your pride is down, your guard is down, your pride takes a dent and life throws you a test that you realise the extent to which you've been blessed. The warm hearts and helping hands you come to rely on, ears to talk shit to and shoulders to cry on. Kind deeds in times of need produce such a healing that I could get blazed until my eyes bleed and never get high as this feeling. And when the sunset draws near, we lock shields like Spartans, float together like starlings over the West Pier, and it feels safe in here. No opponent should be feared, no matter how strong. Even going back a couple of years when my father moved on, I never faced that alone. Because the love and support that was shown was so humbling, I couldn't count the cost of what I lost and what I've been given is so abundant. And so often they say death brings up feelings of regret, but I never had it that way. Because though it came late in the day, I had a chance to know him, and I had a chance to show him who I had become, and he had a chance to see that his son was going to be alright. Because fuck up as I might, my foundation is tight. And knowing that gives a person a feeling inside that no amount of bars on your window or guns under your pillow can provide. And they have a word over there, Ubuntu, that whether I'm laughing or grieving, I take a whole lot of relief in. It means I am because we are, and that's some shit that I really believe in. Thank you, guys. I've heard a couple of wind turbines on the sea chatting earlier, and one said to the other one, "What kind of music are you into?" And he went, "To be honest, I'm a huge metal fan." Of course, I was trying to stay on track. This is called Thank Someone. The general gist of this is that we all have a lot to be grateful for, far more than we can ever articulate or thank the relevant people for. So the sentiment is, as long as you thank someone or direct that gratitude somewhere, that's good. We're good. Like anyone blessed with possessing the slightest shred of decency. When I was coming up, the lesson stressed to me ceaselessly and with diligence is that always saying thank you is of utmost significance. Basic tenet of politeness, hallmark of niceness. To be a good person, you should act like this. But sometimes it's as simple as a couple of seconds and a couple of words to observe some kindness or courtesy that's just occurred, but on other occasions it's not such a matter of simplicity. Because the ones we need to thank don't always stand in our immediate vicinity. And sometimes aren't even still here at all, at least not physically. Or another reason they can be harder to find is because we don't always realise they're helping us at the time. And some we still don't, and some we'll figure out, and some sadly we won't. Because I'm not just talking about someone holding open a door or serving you in a shop or a bar, or letting you out and turning in your car. I'm talking about the ones we have to thank for who we are. Because let there be no doubt in you. More people looking out for you than will ever be known. The body truly walks alone, and each of us owes far more than we can ever repay. The human race is one like a relay. It doesn't even have to be direct to feel the effect. I'm reflecting it to wondering on who inspired the ones who inspired me. And then I start to see we have a whole forest of family trees, not just those with whom we share a lifetime. Don't forget to check a little further down the timeline, because many were departed before you and I even got started. Lived and died in hardship and struggled and fought for things we all sometimes take for granted. And of course there's the artists who made the art, that got into our heads and heart, brought peace, joy and undeniable healing, and made the world around distinctly more appealing. not to overlook those closer to home. Anyone who's shown love, encouragement, guidance, support, fought a corner, had a back, or simply cut us some slack. All the breaks we've been given, whether visible or hidden, and all of the fuck-ups have been forgiven. The little day-to-day gestures that help us get by. People who ask how you're doing and actually listen to the reply. In the story of each life, the supporting cast is countless. Right the way from the humblest to the proudest, the quietest to the loudest, the strangest to the intimate. The credit roll is infinite. The body could possibly call out every name, but all the same there is still a way. Still a part we can play in doing right by those whose gifts, achievements and sacrifices we wouldn't be here without. And it's as simple as just sharing it out, passing it on, like mighty diamonds passing the ball to the left. The best way to let someone whose life touched yours be duly respected and given credit, to let their example live on you like genetics, echo their words, let their actions be reflected, and acknowledge and pay homage to the doors that they opened by standing up for the ideas they were promoting, because true thanks is lived, it's not just spoken. It's up to all of us to teach what's been taught, share what's been shared, and give what's been given. If ever there was anybody who listened when nobody else would hear you, it's on you to find someone that you can lend an ear to. And if you're a musician, I beg you do some reminiscing to back in the day and the first ones who ever made you want to play, because you have a duty to make music that makes others feel that way. I guess what I'm trying to say is that losing your phone or your wallet can be a little bit frightening when somebody finds it and does the right thing. They give you back something far more valuable than just your valuables. They give you back a little faith, when faith can be such a hard thing to find, and there's no way you can repay them exactly in kind, but the next time the chance is dealt, you can thank someone, and they can thank someone else, and so it goes on. And as far as the ones who've done us wrong, anyone who's burned us, spurned us, shown neglect or disrespect, or sometimes tried to deny efforts to advance, with them we have an even greater chance. Because it's to them we get to say, your negative energy legacy ends with me here today. In order to act that way, you must have been hurting yourself, but I will not pass on your pain to someone else. Got enough stuff to be carrying on this path that I'm treading. And hate is a disease of the heart, so I'll play my part in stopping it from spreading. As you have tried to hurt me, so I'll try to live more helpfully. And when you've tried to take from me, so I will try to give more readily. It's when you can perform this form of metamorphosis. It's like taking a steaming pile of horseshit and growing the most exquisitely fragrant rose to ever grace your nose. I doubt there's anybody here who knows of anything more resoundingly astounding than watching somebody whose childhood was bad becoming a loving mother or dad. That right there is CO2 into oxygen, and I'm promising it's every bit as essential as clean air to inhale if our species did to prevail instead of derail. Because we are connected to the collective by a bond that can never be undone, and the body can thank them all, but we can all thank someone. Thank you. If it's alright to do a quick plug, have a new start business. We're sort of loosely based on Deliveroo. We don't do deliveries, we're just called that's definitely the stupidest song I'm working. That's out of the way now. This one's very self-explanatory, so we'll run to this. I don't know if I'm healthy, but then tell me what is health. Strong body, sound mind, and being at peace with yourself. Sometimes it's as simple. Sometimes it comes as many varieties as illness. Sometimes it's as simple as just finding a little stillness. So when you need a cure, where do you go to get it? Do you reach for pharmaceuticals or psychedelics? Do you place your faith in holy men, holy books, or holy relics? Excuse me. And when you've got something inside that needs to come out, to whom do you confess? Fuck that, no, right up. To your friends, to your lover, to your God, or to yourself? Well, I might not be healthy, but then tell me what is health. But I'm not sure if I'm wise, but then tell me what is wisdom. Is it pure and exact like a bright white light, or is it refracted like a prism into many hues of attitude depending on position? Well, you could have multiple degrees, a couple Nobel Prizes and a few PhDs, and know all of these are truly noble things to earn. If you can't treat your neighbour with respect in a manner that you would expect, then, my friend, I must regret you still got a lot to learn. But the one who speaks with the heart, listens up when others are talking, is already smarter than Einstein and Newton and Hawking, and saying religious freedom, so don't waste your life in prison. Well, I don't know if I'm wise, but then tell me what is wisdom. Well, I'm not sure if I'm rich, but then how is rich defined? If it's by the shit that you own, then go, yeah, I'm getting left behind. Take a look at my bank account and debt is all you'll find, but I pay it no mind because I'm inclined to believe that I'm really not that poor. It's got a different system of keeping score. And tell me what more could I ever ask for? I got my body and my mind and I got my soul. I got a whole lot of love for my family, my friends. I got faith in a force much bigger than me. I'm on the corner of the world where I could be. I live in a fucking cool town right down by the sea. So though I get minimum wage and life is expensive, I don't get enraged because my wealth is extensive. Don't need a 5-figure paycheck, I've got 5 senses to be filled to the gills with sights and sounds and smells and sensation and sweet, sweet sense of the healing of the nation. Sunrises, sunsets and Sunday roast. Some days I bet it's like a stroll onto the coast and think, motherfuck the poverty line because I'm wealthier than most. And for over 18 years, Brighton has been my gracious host, and some of the people I've met here have become the most beautiful, inspirational, healing ways of light, and I've learned that very few things are black and white, and mostly it comes down to a matter of perception. If you're struggling for answers, try asking different questions, because mostly it comes down to a matter of perception. If you do not like your answers, try asking different questions. You're all very lovely and very forgiving of my humour. I'm very patient of the amount of information that I've just skull-fucked into your ears, so I appreciate that. Maybe don't use that as the promo on my next game. last one out of me. It's one of the few that I've bothered to post online. It's probably easier to like buy illegal drugs online than it is to find my material, I think. And probably better for society in general. Anyway, this is a protest piece. It's about a bunch of people that are my people, might be your people as well, who've had a pretty raw deal over the last 100 years, depending on which time and place, ranging from stigma to loss of liberty, loss of life, all kinds of shit in between. This is called Stoner. I'm a stoner. Some of you might be new information. I'm a stoner. Never mind the negative connotations you heard about that word, because I'm reclaiming it. Ain't no shame in it. I'm a stoner and I'm proud to be one. I'm a stoner online date when a cloud and walk around in one. Because I'm a stoner, maybe one day even here in the UK I'll be allowed to be one. See, some sing drinks to forge links. Others break bread to build those bridges. It's not my business what you choose to use to reach out to folk with. Will always be a special place in my heart for the people that I smoke with. And those who ridicule and doubt us will always exist. And lazy stereotypes about us will always persist. So cling to those if you find that helps. But we're not just Snoop Dogg. We're also Michael Phelps. And we occupy almost every occupation. And pop up in every part of the population. Butcher, banker, barber, baker. With you right through life, from midwife to undertaker. Royalty to rough sleepers. Celebrities to street sweepers. Atheists and believers. We are your doctors and dentists. We are your children's teachers. And we are far too numerous to ever defeat us. And we build families and run businesses because we are achievers and grafters. Some of us even hit bongs and run marathons after. We did 38 last year. Because if you thought stoners and health were mutually exclusive, allow me to conclusively disprove it by taking the case of vaping that's been saving cigarette smokers from all manner of maladies and even fatalities. Now this here idea of greatly reducing the harm of consuming a plant by heating but not combusting it. Who do you suppose came up with it? And if you think stoners are a bunch of bums never make any funds, ask yourself how the state of Colorado got more paid than Colorado, or which of California's policies are going to possibly propel it to become one of the world's top 6 economies. And if you think stoners are socially awkward loners, we got comrades and kinfolk the world over. I've burnt apples with Malaccas, smoked Daka with Saffers, and Spongli with Hungarians. If it's the Rastafarians, they prefer to refer to the reefer by quoting Revelations. That's why they sometimes call it the healing of the nations. To any Brazilians listening, hasta muito obrigado pelo todo baseado. And to all of the gente who speak Espanol, we relate all of the saying of the soul. Apply and we can make a fire, pass it al poro to the ojos, to rojo, stay up to sun up because no tengo trabajo tomorrow. Joseph Hill wasn't lying when he called it the international herb. When I run out of words, I just lift up my shirt. There's a tattoo of a leaf underneath it. Everybody recognises. To which I point and say, could you please tell me where I may be able to find this? So I want to be polite when you're scoring abroad. If you thought stoners are forgetful and absent-minded, I'd agree to a degree, but I don't really mind it. Won't be losing too much snoozing, because if indeed the weed has mashed up my memory, perhaps you wouldn't mind telling me from where you suppose this prose flows. I do not see a script sitting under my nose, but then again, who knows? Perhaps my powers of recollection are totally shot. Maybe I used to really care, but then I forgot, because I'm a stoner. I consumer medicine that's lit up more lives than Thomas Edison, bringing relief from the grief, everything from glaucoma to chemo to MS to epilepsy to eating disorders. Just don't try picking up your prescription within these borders, because round here, we prefer driving. Otherwise, law-abiding fathers and mothers to become international drug smugglers just for a chance of giving their child some standard of living or even just of survival, when any parent worthy of the title would do the same. And if that's not enough to send you insane, at the same time they're saying that Puffin does nothing for you medically, somewhat incredibly, they're happy to produce it and ship it elsewhere. Of this you might not be aware and you can be forgiven, but the biggest supplier of medical weed in the world right now is the country we live in. The contradiction of this position defies belief, and just one of the many layers that lies beneath the incredibly complex and controversial climate of the cannabis plant and those who imbibe it. And I'm going to stand here and try and deny it. Of course we have our idiots, like any other group you could care to mention. You've just very kindly given one of them the last 25 minutes of your attention. But we're as diverse a family as the rest of humanity. Some folks smoke in the hope they'll open their mind, some it's like a token, a joke to help them unwind. For some it's just something to get wrecked with, others to connect and reflect with and get some perspective. There are those who are just trying to get out of it, and there are those of us who are trying to get something out of it. And as for me, I'm done. I've ran over, because now I'm voracious for something curvaceous and herbaceous. Because I'm going to stuff my neck full of green like a bottle of Corona. Beer, not the virus. Because at least now you'll know what I mean when I tell you I'm a stoner. Thanks.
On YouTube, as you said, that's absolutely right.
It's really not.
Be careful. there is, but just be careful. There are also, plenty of other acts also called Spliff Richard. The hip hop band from America with the song Duck Ass, and also this is true. I'm not lying. You can look this up. And also, this is the emo hardcore band which we both listened to before with Please Take a Piss on Me, and that is a real thing. I'm not lying, because when I was doing the research for this, I thought, what have we booked? I was a bit worried, but it's okay. Then I realised it's fine. So yeah.